Hello, duelists. Welcome back to Old Format Yu-Gi-Oh! Today we're doing another segment of 5 ranked matches, and this time we're going to be going to GOAT format, which I've been enjoying quite a lot recently. Today I'm going to be on this list of Chaos Turbo by Shifty. It got first place at FLC 25, which was a 93-person tournament, so I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is probably a pretty optimal list. And my opening thoughts to it, or I guess you could say closing thoughts, but in summary is I didn't like it too much. I've been enjoying GOAT format, but this is not the deck for me, and in a couple days, hopefully, you'll see the deck that I do enjoy uploaded in this fashion. But I'm just going to hover over all the cards real quick, and then we'll get into the deck. Of note, from what I've seen of other Chaos Turbo lists, Solemn Judgment at 3 is definitely different than usual. But honestly, it was okay. I honestly think Solemn Judgment is a bit underwhelming in this format. I like Dust Shoot a lot more, but that is just me. Let's get into those replays. Okay, replay one. We're against Snatch Steal 92. And, you know, while we're drawing of note, I can vent a little bit that on Format Library, there's like the ranked queue and everything. It's pretty difficult to find a GOAT match. Not a lot of people play it. I think they just let their ratings go up or down based on tournament performances. However, all the GOAT format tournaments are a single day usually, or 2 days, and I usually can't do those. I much prefer the 3-day or 2-day tournaments. When you have 2 or 3 days to play a single round. A lot easier on my end. But Snatch Steal looks to be on Warriors here. Meanwhile, I open up Jar Agreed, Tsukiyomi, Mask of Darkness, Phoenix Wing Blast, Chaos Sork, and Graceful Charity. I'm just going to open with the set Jar. You know, one thing I do like about GOAT format compared to the others is it's a bit more methodical. I'm sure I can get some interesting discussions in the comments about what line was correct, because I'm relatively new to the format. Meanwhile, my opponent top decks Thunder Dragon, Blade Knight, Graceful Charity, Mystic Swordsman level 2, Snatch Steal, and MST. So we're going to open with Thunder Dragon, search him. Will he go for the Charity? Let's see. He will. I'm guessing he's on Warriors, it looks like. I think it makes sense to go for it and have some back row in the end, because Warriors are usually on, like, Judgment, among other important traps. So he gets 2 of them, sadly. Kaiku's going to get in. I'm not going to do anything about that. He's going to set MST Regeki Break, which I think is pretty solid. Tsukiyomi's going to come down, try to beat over Kaiku. He Regeki breaks it. A little nice minus on his end. I'm going to Graceful Charity of my own. I don't have anything amazing to discard, so I'm going to get rid of Mask of Darkness and Phoenix Wing Blast. Knock the Kaiku, because that card is actually really annoying against my deck, because it banishes my lights and darks, and then I can't get Chaos Sorcerer off in general. Blade Knight comes down, he sets Snatch, sets Judgment. It's a bit annoying in this case. I'm going to draw a Sangan and just set it, and he MSTs the Jar, falling for the bluff. Finally, it paid off. He's going to go for Swordsman, triggers. Search a Spy, which I think will just stall the board out a bit, which is what I'm hoping for at this point. I'm going to try to Snatch Steal, he Judgments, which is pretty much exactly what I'm hoping for right now, because now I could set a Spy, I could set a Nobleman, which looks powerful, and then Wing Blast, I have protection for the Spy. Also, when I discard Night Assailant, I can add back another flip effect, which I do have in here, which is a Mask of Darkness. He's going to start with a Heavy, which is a shame. I'm going to hit the Blade Knight, Assailant triggers. Did fall for the bluff, though. Knock isn't too amazing against Warriors, just because Warriors are... They don't really set things, they just summon and go from there. And now we're going to realize, a critical misplay on my part. This is like one of my first few games. I forgot about Mystic Swordsman. I thought it flipped the card. That is not the case. It's at the start of damage, it just destroys it. So I should not have set Spy there, definitely. If anything, maybe summon it in attack mode and get in, but not a good play on my end. I think that would have set up a good line, because I could have killed the Swordsman. He kills it with his Blade Knight or with his Breaker. I take some damage, of course, but then I can Wing Blast, discard the Night Assailant, get back Spy, and then I'm in a good position, I feel, because then I have a full board of Spies, and he can't do anything, at least right now. Either way, I'm going to go down to low numbers. I'm going to top deck, and I had nothing. It was Mask of Darkness, Moth, and Chaos Sork. So definitely that previous line that I just described was a lot better. Going to go to game 2. Let's say GG's. I like that game. Best thing about Good is it lets me think a lot of the time. I'll start off with some T-Drag, so let me get that first. So I'm going to open up Thunder Dragon, Moth, Tsukiyomi, Heavy Storm, Dekoichi. I'm going to Graceful into Upstart Judgment Spy. Pitch the Thunder Dragons, makes sense. Oh, deck's called Chaos Turbo. I got a Turbo at some point. End up saying Dekoichi and Judgment, and right now I'm at a +1, which is quite nice, and full Graveyard of Lights. He's going to do his own Thunder Dragons, and he opens double T-Dragon, Breaker, Kaiku, Moth, Snatch Steal, Judgment. Another good hand, but also Trap Light. Breaker comes down. I'm going to Judgment it. I think getting the tempo off is a bit better here rather than just letting it pop my Judgment for free. Not too sure on this play. Still learning. He ends up just setting a Judgment. I'm happy with that. I Dekoichi. He lets me do it. Jar of Greed. He does stop. One of the most annoying things, in my opinion, is Judgment on Pot of Greed or Graceful Charity. But hey, if you're playing Warriors, it's a good play. Again, for some damage, I set the Spy and set Sakuretsu. I'm feeling pretty confident here. He tries to get in. I'm just going to sack it. He Noblemans, gets rid of the Spies, which is a shame. I only play 2. And he'll Snatch Steal. And I do not have games, sadly, with what I currently have. I could Heavy to get back to Koichi. I could Tsukiyomi and flip it again, I believe, but it's still only 25. Hindsight, I think that's a much better play now. Just to Heavy, then you get back to Koichi, book it with Tsukiyomi, flip it, draw a card, get in for 25. Then you just have it to Koichi, but maybe I draw a trap card or something. He's going to draw a Duo, which isn't too useful, but I'm going to Moth back for Graceful Charity, and with the Serpent, I'm feeling pretty confident. Let's see what he could hit. Ends up... Oh, I think he... Did he scoop? Yeah, he did. I think he ended up hitting the Serpent, and he just scoops immediately. Kind of makes sense there. It's very foreboding of what's about to come. My opponent opens up Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, Sinister, Knock, Nightmare Wheel, Kaiku, and Solemn. Bit more of an annoying trap hand. I'm surprised to see Nightmare Wheel, honestly. I'm used to seeing that just in Panda Burn and other burn decks. I open Tsukiyomi, Moth, Book of Moon, Nobleman, Sakuretsu, and Graceful. Honestly, if I don't see Blade Knight turn 1, I'm pretty happy. Kaiku's annoying, but I definitely dislike Blade Knight more because it stops all the flip effects. So after watching what's that YouTuber's name? He's a really good player. AJTBLS. He always said that Tsukiyomi is good against Warriors. You just summon it and beat over whatever. So I decided to go for that, and he Judgments. I'm happy with that result. I set Book, set Sakuretsu. I'm kind of reading that with 2 back row, he won't Heavy. You know, even if he has a Pro Heavy, I doubt it, because Warriors play real back row, so I'm feeling pretty confident with this. He summons Serpent to try to get in. I'm going to Sakuretsu the Kaiku and take 300. I draw Spy. Very happy with that. He's going to Tribute for Thunder Dragon and knock it. Sadly, so many knocks. Such an annoying deck to play against. No one likes to play against Warriors. I'm going to draw Dekoichi, set Dekoichi, and Nightmare Wheel is probably going to come in here, I believe. Let's see. Oh, no, he just attacks in. I draw 1. Draw Duo, not too useful right now. And he's going to set a second Nightmare Wheel. I'm curious if I go for it here. I'm going to Charity. He negates. I think I was going to go for Charity, just discard Duo at this point, because I know it's a T-Dragon in hand. He goes for the Nightmare Wheel on Moth, which is... This card's really interesting, because I haven't seen many cards like it. You can target a face-down monster and equip to it. Just different, but it can't change its position, and during his standby phase, I take 500. So it's just a slow burn card, and then he can take his time. He doesn't even have to attack. I'm just going to keep setting stuff though and keep taking burn damage, which is kind of sad. Now, here he makes an interesting play where he's actually going to try to get in, which I don't fully agree with, but I just let it happen because it stops me from dying from burn, because I don't think I could do much with that burn just ticking. I'm going to Wing Blast his other back row and drop the BLS. And he admits defeat because that is exactly 2100, and his double Judgment put him down to 2k. It's part of the reason I don't like Judgment, just because it brings you so low, and in GOAT format, in my opinion, half the time when like you're going first and you have 6 cards in hand, your opponent Judgments something, you still have like 2 other options to go through, and that's not the case every time, of course. But it feels like it's a format with options, so that's just my hot take on Judgment. We'll see if people agree in the comments, but I have a feeling they will not. Game 2, we're going against Alizé, or Alizé, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it. And I'm quite happy going first and opening up Upstart, Sinister, Book of Moon, Duo, Tsukiyomi, and Judgment. I think I just fire off the Duo immediately. No, Upstart first, then go for it. Let's see, land on the 2. I hit his Upstart, and he pitches Kaiku, which I'm actually pretty happy about, but I'm also scared at the fact that he pitched Kaiku. I set Serpent, set Book of Moon. He summons Blade Knight, sets Called On, and sets Snatch Steal, and he also had a Kaiku as well. Or top decked another Kaiku, that's kind of funny. He gets in. Now, of note, I make a misplay here. I don't bring back Sinister Serpent. Probably going to see that a couple times in these replays, just because I'm not used to playing with Sinister Serpent all the time. Which is ironic, because I played Monarchs for 4 years, and I'm used to Treeborn. But either way, I should have brought it back just in case he did draw another Kaiku, which he does. And I do stop it with Judgment, but I'm not too happy about that. Yeah. I go for the, what is it? He goes for MST and then Call the Haunted, bring back Kaiku, and then I lose that free advantage. Because even if I did bring it back to hand, it's not like I played around Dust Shoot or anything, so it was definitely correct to bring it back. I have Tsukiyomi kill the Kaiku, get in, I Mirror Force the Warrior Lady, and now I set Spy, set Ring, and I'm feeling pretty confident. However, he has a BLS, which I cannot Ring a Destruction because I would lose. I'm going to set him off, he'll pop the back row, and I just go to game 2. I can kill myself with Ring if I want, but that's probably not a good idea. Alright. Here we can see the sided-in Trap Dust Shoot doing well. I open Mirror Force, Assailant, Trap Dust Shoot, MST, Delinquent Duo, and Chaos Sork. I'm feeling pretty confident about these two cards just ripping apart any hand, honestly. Even if they have Serpent, it's still going to hit pretty hard. So I hit Heavy Kaiku from him, and I'll wait for him to draw. He's going to open Blade Knight, Warrior Lady, Exiled, and Premature. Now, looking at my hand, I'm going to talk through this a bit because I don't actually remember what I hit, but I remember thinking about this a lot. And because we have two things that blatantly answer. We have Exiled and we have Blade Knight, and Warrior Lady, of course, is annoying as well. So in my mind, I don't think this Night Assailant's probably getting its effect off. But I also don't think he's going to waste an Exiled Force on this set monster. I think he'll probably try to go for a Blade Knight play, which I can Mirror Force. So I think I'm going to hit the DD Warrior Lady. Let's see if I'm correct. Oh, no, I hit the Blade Knight. All right. Not sure what I was thinking, but that's my hot take. This is a good one to think about. He's going to go for the Warrior Lady. I will just take it. I feel like I'm going to parrot him a little bit, but that player, AGTBLS, he has a YouTube channel, and he just won a tournament too. And his videos are very, very interesting to listen to, because he's a very intelligent player, and just hearing what he talks about. So he always mentions that Torrential and Mirror Force are like very, very rare cards that can 2-for-1 your opponent, making you go neutral, or you go -1, your opponent goes -2. So I've been more open about that, trying to bait into a Mirror Force or bait into a Torrential. It works, it sometimes doesn't work, but either way, it's typically a good play. See if I go for it here. He goes for Exiled, hits the Sengen. I'm very happy about that, because that's basically a wasting of Exiled. He gets in for 15. I'm totally fine with that. I'm going to set my Dekoichi, draw Tribe, another great card against Warriors, because you can call Warrior and destroy it all. He's going to Rhoda for Swordsman. He gets in, and here comes the 2-for-1, and now it's 5 advantage to 2 advantage, and I MST. So now we're feeling a great spot. Dekoichi, get in, and now the advantage is just flowing in my favor. He summons Blade Knight. I'm just going to get rid of it. No need to now let my flip effects go off. Dekoichi gets in. He's a little low, so I'm happy about that. I draw him off, set him off. And I'm going to keep this going. Yeah, these are the parts where Judgment is not too good, sadly. Just going to keep getting in. He's Sakuretsu's. I'm a little iffy about flipping these, just because I'm worried about something coming over like BLS and just killing me, which is not ideal. I'm going to Dust Tornado his new one, because I think I see that I have game here, or I can try to go for game here. Yeah, I'm going to Moth Effect for MST. I'm just going to use it, get rid of a back row. Now I contribute for Thunder Dragon, get in. Probably should have went for Sorcerer there, because no matter what he has, it's probably the correct play. Blade Knight's going to kill my set, and I'm going to drop Sorcerer priority. He Judgments, because he doesn't have a choice. I summon Tribe, and that's game. Call Warriors, attack directly. I love these Go replays. They're just nice back and forth, not like in Edison half the time where it's like, oh, I bricked. Although, speaking of bricks, my opponent opens up Kaiku, Breaker, Warrior Lady, Dust Tornado, Kaiku, and Nobleman. Pretty annoying against my deck, not gonna lie. No back row needed. I'm gonna open up Assailant, Judgment, Assailant, Tsukiyomi, Mask of Darkness, and Moth. He's gonna MST the back row, and yeah, we're off to the races. He ends up Nobleman a cross-outing. I have the Night Assailant in hand, so I don't have to worry about that. And he gets in for 36. Yeah, I just draw another monster. I set Night Assailant. He goes DD Warrior Lady. At least I could pop one of the Kaikus. And he gets in for 18 again. And I'm going to draw a Dust Tornado, which is not ideal. I try to kill the Kaiku. Works. And now he goes for Breaker, which is game. And I reveal the hand, which was just, tons of flip effects. He had Ring. This game wasn't looking too good. When one of these decks opens all monsters, it's a lot better than the other opening all monsters. Alright, we have match 3 here against, I guess their name is pronounced Pui. Of note, it doesn't really impact my decision making because I typically play fast, but they say they don't have a lot of time. We need to go quickly. And this player is going to be our nemesis for the video because we actually have 2 matches against them. I'm going to open Dekoichi, BLS, Nobleman, Chaos Sork, Judgment, and Tsukiyomi. I am okay with this hand. Judgment's nice, but I don't feel a need to set it yet. My opponent is on Panda Burn, and they open up Ojama Trio, Graceful, Chain Energy, Sangan, Secret Barrel, and Giant Rat. They're going to set their back row, activate Chain Energy, and this deck actually inspired me to play Panda Burn. That is not the deck that I chose to adopt, you could say, in GOAT. This card is nasty. I know some lists weren't playing it, but it is so annoying to play against. I could not believe it. I'm going to flip my Dakoichi, I'm going to draw 1, I'm going to try to get in, but I take 50 damage. The burn has begun already. I take 1,000 from Chain Energy, setting my Wing Blast and Sengen. Giant Rat gets in. They're going to activate Ojama Trio and Secret Battle first just to do a good amount of damage. Giant Rat gets Panda, and Panda right now has 2,800 attack. I'm very good with my Panda math after that 5th place finish in the Reaper format tournament. Sengen's going to search me Sinister, because I have that Wing Blast. I'm probably telegraphing it a bit too much here, but I feel when you're playing against Burn, it's good to minus yourself, so Secret Battle does less, as well as monsters if you contribute them off. And also of note, in my opinion, Burn doesn't have a lot of counterplay to it, I guess. I don't know the correct terminology in this. But, like, if I don't care if they know I have a Wing Blast or not, because no matter what I activate it, I pitch a card, and that gives me less damage. Hopefully that makes sense to everyone. They're going to Graceful. They're going to set a Cyber Jar. I'm going to knock it, because I feel that if Panda Burn is setting anything, it's probably scary, especially when I was playing Rescue Cat OTK. I know it's probably Morphing Jar. It was my read, but Cyber Jar is even better to hit. I'm going to end up setting Night Assailant, setting Judgment, and passing back to them. They draw a Secret Barrel. They're going to go for a True Nade. I put Panda on top of the deck because that's going to literally kill me. Now I'm at 1050. They activate Secret Barrel, and that is game. Now, I do have a good amount against Burn that I brought in, I believe. Especially in this matchup, I know that I draw it. I open up Duo, Wing Blast, Dakoichi, Breaker, Magician of Faith, and Thunder Dragon. Delinquent's going to hit a knock and a True Nade. I'm not too happy about the True Nade, but I'm very happy about the knock. They're going to open Morphing Jar, great after a Delinquent Duo, Chain Energy, Secret Barrel, and Graceful Charity. They're just going to set, and at this point, there's nothing in my mind saying that, like, there is something other than a Morphing Jar here. Like, this has to be Morphing Jar. Like, I know setting traps is, like, pretty probable, but I know they're also on a lot of spells, so I don't believe it. I also ripped them of 2 cards, so they have to desperately try to get off a Morphing Jar, in my opinion. I summon Breaker, I take the 500 from it, I'm going to pop the Chain Energy, and I get in. You may notice that past Jason is not as smart as the current Jason. But that's me. You live and you learn. Thankfully, at least when I discard Thunder Dragons, I discarded Dakoichi, Snatch Steal, probably should have held on to, like, set it. But otherwise, not a horrible result, but I don't think it was worth it giving them full new grip of cards, especially if they're on Burn. I do draw one of the side deck cards, though, Mystic Walk, which is very nice. To go through their new hand, they open up Pot of Greed, Nightmare Wheel, Mirror Force, Nightmare Wheel, Chain Energy, and Ojama Trio. I think another thing for my play might just be that I hate Chain Energy so much and had to Breaker it. That card just bothers me. They're going to draw into Ojama Trio Exiled. They're going to Graceful into Just Desserts Secret Barrel Nobleman. Safe to say, playing against a Burn deck in this place, I'm not feeling confident at all. And I am going to Wing Blast that Chain Energy back to hand in the end phase. They end up setting Secret Barrel, Ojama Trio, Secret Barrel, and Just Desserts. So they're going to go for it immediately, which I believe is game. I Mystic Walk the Breaker. Oh, I ended up taking damage, but I fixed that. And I believe this keeps me alive just barely. Oh, not even just barely, 25. I have BLS, I just decide to get in. I think that's decent, because why not? Flip Magician of Faith, get back Walk, and set it, meaning that I have a free gain 3,000 whenever I want. We're going to see Exiled come down, I obviously Chain Walk, take the damage again. But now I'm at 55, and they have 4 cards. I'm feeling a lot more confident than I was before. Although they do have Chain Energy. I'm going to go for Chaos Sork. I know they don't have much monster stopping things, so I'm just going to try to push damage as quick as possible. My opponent ends up double Nightmare Wheeling, just doing 1,000 damage to me. I'm going to Chaos Sork, banish them off, set another one. They Nobleman my Moth, sadly, so I can't get Mystic Walk back again, and they set Ojama Trio, which is dead right now. I'm going to Chaos Sork, banish itself, and just get in with a Spy. Do I have Light in the Dark? There's no way. Okay, yeah, just Lights. Level limit comes down, kind of annoying. I draw Master Darkness, which isn't bad, because I can get back Wing Blast, which is game. They draw Panda, though, which is a bit scary. However, I have the Book of Moon to not die. I'm going to end up Heavy Storming, and with Knock, that's game. Going to Game 3, back and forth with Panda Burn is very scary. I literally put in the chat my first time against Panda Burn, this is scary. And apparently they say that they messed up. I'm actually not quite sure where, but hey, if they see this video, feel free to comment it below. They're going to open Desk Koala, Exiled Force, Secret Barrel, Giant Rat, Swords Revealing Light, and Chain Energy. See, they set the Koala, activate Chain Energy, and Secret Barrel. It said first time welcome. They said first time welcome. I appreciate it. I'm going to open Knight Assailant, Heavy, Thunder Dragon, Phoenix Wingblast, Graceful Charity, and BLS. I'm going to go for Thunder Dragons. I decided to go for the Graceful Charity because although it's drawing more advantage against burn, I think it's good here just because Thunder Dragons, I have to start digging for walks primarily, I feel. I draw Serpent too, which is good. A little late after the Charity, but whatever. I'm going to set Assailant, set Wingblast. They're going to draw into Trunade. Not too useful right now. They Koala, take 2k. They Trunade. I'm going to Phoenix Wingblast the Chain Energy because I don't like that card. And they're going to go for Secret Barrel. Yeah, they go for Exiled and they get in for 11. So I'm looking a little low now. However, I do have a Light and a Dark, which is quite nice. And Heavy Storm. They were not happy. I felt the need to apologize because I sacked the heck out of them here. And I do have the Walk too. And they just end up scooping it up, seeing the writing on the wall when I Mirror Force the Giant Rat. I don't know why the replays are delayed a bit, but I go up in a match, and I'm pretty happy about that, beating Panda Burn my first time. All right, match 4 is my second match against Pui, who is still on Panda Burn, I believe. And this was a couple hours after, so this time they are not in a rush. I end up going first. I open Duo, Nobleman, Thunder Dragon, Mask of Darkness, Graceful, and Jar of Greed. Pretty happy about that. Can I rip this Pot of Greed from their hand? I can. Oh, no, they shuffle, darn. So I hit Just Desserts and Exiled. Pretty happy about that. I go for some T-Drags. I think I go for Graceful Charity. I do. Yeah, just pitched both. Now I have the full light set up in Grave. I'm going to set Spy, set Jar of Greed. Pretty happy about this. They open up Ceasefire, Pot of Greed, Giant Rat, and Level Limit. Pretty good with the Pot of Greed. At least it helps preserve their advantage a little bit. And they open a Chain Energy, which is not my favorite card. And a Panda as well, which they're just going to set. This card does have nice defense. I'm going to knock it. Nice way to fade the knock. Knock doesn't usually get fizzled, or it doesn't fizzle, I don't know the correct terminology, but it cannot resolve because now the monster that was face down is face up. And also, Ceasefire does 1,000 damage to me, and flip effects do not activate, so my Spy does not get advantage. So not too happy about that. I'm just going to set Mirror Force, take some damage, and pass. They set Giant Rat, set Secret Barrel, and I draw another knock, which is nice. Get rid of Giant Rat, I set Mask of Darkness. Panda tries to get in, I'm going to Mirror Force, because I do not want to deal with that. I draw Sangan. They draw, what is that? Oh, Kinetic Soldier, probably against Warriors, because Warriors are probably the most tier 1 deck, or second most. I think right now Chaos Turbo, which I'm playing, is the first thing that's being played, and Warriors a close second. I draw BLS, pretty happy about that one, but I do take some damage, because I was not expecting Kinetic Soldier, honestly. But information's key. They set Nightmare Wheel. I go for Jar of Greed, draw Knight Assailant. I'm going to MST that Chain Energy, although the damage has pretty much been done at this point. Yeah, Secret Barrel, and I'm done at that point. I did like this line, which made me laugh a bit when they said, I have enough time to think and not be stupid this time, which means they'll be even sillier when I do something stupid. Let me use that quote somewhere. Alright, game 2, I open Chaos Sork, Dekoichi, MST, Spy, Sangan, and Thunder Dragon. Really good at opening Thunder Dragon. I don't go for it, though, this time, which is interesting. I think maybe now I've wisened up to the burn strategy, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't get so much advantage, and then get hit with Secret Barrel like I did last game. They open up Secret Barrel, Giant Rat, Snatch Steel, Trunade, Heavy, and Swords of Revealing Light. Not bad. Swords reveals Dekoichi, I draw 1, they take it. And they try to Trunade, but I MST the Snatch Steel, so I get that Dekoichi back. Although they have the Giant Rat to smash in. They're going to use Lily to deal 34 to me. That is quite annoying. And then when I draw a Thunder Dragon, I just search one. So then I think this maybe was the Reckoning, where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to Thunder Dragon from now on. I drop Chaos Sork, I banish it, not wanting to deal with it. Set Spy, set Book of Moon. Yep, Swords activates, I get a Spy, and I draw Heavy Storm, and I am a sack in this case. They have nothing but a Secret Barrel, which they do chain, but I believe it is game on board, if I'm not mistaken. And if not, yeah, there it is. Could be wrong, maybe it's not game. No, okay, yeah, it is. Alright, game 3. My opponent opens up Trio, Secret Barrel, Cyber Jar, Mind Control, and Sangan. That's a scary hand, honestly. Not a lot of burn yet, but Ojama Trio can win games on its own. I open Book of Moon, Mystic Walk, BLS, Nobleman, Mirror Force, and Sangan. Let's see if I knock. I do. Hit the Sangan. I think I'm happy with that. Much would have preferred to hit a Jar, though. and I set Book of Moon, Mirror Force, and now they set the Cyber Jar. So I think my thought process here was like, I have to clear, if it's a Cyber Jar or Morphing Jar, I have to do it at some point. I think I was reading Cyber Jar more so, which is, I think, me just getting lucky, because if I read both jars, which I probably should have, I should have just heavied. Or maybe I shouldn't have, just because this. I should at least set heavy and set walk, of course. But either way, I get in, and let's see what we hit. Oh, I'll try to get it, all of them. There we go. They hit Snatch Steal, Level Limit, Swords, Giant Rat, and Panda. So it's nice to know all that information. Meanwhile, I hit Chaos Sork, Snatch Steal, Dakoichi, Spy, and Delinquent. So we both end up hitting 2 monsters, which is nice. They get their Panda, they get their Giant Rat. At this point, each of us knows each other's hands actually pretty well. And we both hit a Snatch Steal, which is kind of funny. And yeah, we do this summoning randomly. So, or I go first, is what they said at least. Not too sure about the ruling for Cyberjar, I'm new to it. So, set Spy, set Dakoichi, I don't think I have much of a choice. They activate Trio, though, which buffs Panda pretty badly. And then I get the Sanguine Search into the Serpent, and I'm going to take a lot of damage. 28, I think that's the biggest I've seen. I am going to hit them with the Duo. It costs 1,000, but my thought process is it might keep me 1,000 points higher if I hit 2 cards out of their hand. I hit Snatch and Swords, so didn't really work out that way. We're going to see Giant Rat go to defense, and Panda just stay in attack mode. I'm going to draw with Dakoichi, Mystic Walk again 2k, go for a Heavy Storm, and I'll chain Book of Moon on my Dakoichi. Mirror Force goes to the grave. I'm going to Tribe for Beasts, which does hit the tokens. I take 900 because when Ojama tokens die, they take 300. So, little unfortunate, but I wanted to clear up the board so Panda isn't as devastating. Gonna banish for BLS. I am gonna banish that because I don't want to deal with the jar. How do you even get this many new cards so quick? Oh, they set Pot of Greed and then draw it. They have Nightmare Wheel and Ceasefire, and they mind control my Dakoichi, which makes me a little upset because now they have a bit stalling tactics on their side, and I don't have anything to clear it immediately. I'm gonna go for Tribe, Pitch, and go for Machine. I was trying to just call, like, Plant, but you can't because it's not a legal type. I'm just trying to get rid of cards in my hand, and so I end up destroying a Dakoichi because that's fine with me. They Nightmare on my BLS. I'm gonna use Tribe to get rid of it, just trying to get rid of all advantage on my side. Phoenix Wing Blast helps with that. And I draw an MST, so there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I can try to get in, which I don't because of Nightmare Wheel, and I'm gonna use Tribe's effect on itself to kill itself off, so I don't have to worry about taking damage. And I do have a Light and Dark Engrave, so I'm not feeling out of this yet because I have the Chaos Sork. They Trunade for Giant Rat, and then I realize the writing's on the wall because I'm just low enough that it doesn't matter. I should have definitely went for Chaos Sork last turn just to try to preserve my life title. I think at this point I was just trying to play around spells and traps and not thinking about the monsters, because then single monster with Chain Energy is game. So, what are you going to do? And lastly, we are on our 4th match, which is also against Snatch Steal 92. I believe I played against him for my first match. And let's see, is he still on Warrior? I cannot tell. They open up Nobleman, Mirror Force, Graceful, Sakuretsu, Knight Assailant, and Exiled Force. They're just going to end up setting Sakuretsu and passing. Conservative play, I like it. I open up Upstart, which will get used, so I have Dakoichi, Solemn, MST, Solemn, Nobleman, and Ring. Very defensive hand, but I'm happy with it. I'm just going to play it a bit slow, not in a Mirror Force, set a Judgment, and I feel fine with that. They're going to Pot of Greed. They're going to Upstart Goblin. Draws Magic Jammer, which is interesting. I've never seen that played before. He'll actually go for the Graceful. Pitch some cards so he doesn't hit a flip effect, so he can't Knight Assailant with the flip effect. Summons Blade Knight. He knocks the Dakoichi. I don't think that's worth a Judgment, and he gets in for 16. Hindsight, maybe these Warrior players are onto something, and I should have Judgmented the Pot of Greed or Graceful Charity. Probably the Graceful Charity, thinking about it. Now, he has 4 set cards, so I don't feel a need not to set 4 cards, so I do the exact same thing. I think I should have set Mask of Darkness, even though I had no traps, because next turn I could use it. I'm going to ring the Blade Knight. And he ends up summoning Sasuke and set Dust Tornado. I Judgment the Sasuke because at this point monsters are getting quite lethal to me because I have MST Judgment. I do draw the Phoenix Wing Blast, which I could use this by discarding the Knock because Knock's pretty useless in this matchup. He ends up knocking again. I Judgment, and he Judgments back. Mask of Darkness gets banished. I set a Wing Blast. He gets rid of it. He goes for Rhoda, Blade Knight, summons it, And I'm gonna Phoenix Wing Blast it back to the top, but at this point I'm pretty much feeling like I lost the game. Yeah, I draw Thunder Dragon. Probably the worst possible draw. Alright, game 2. I'm going to open up Tsukiyomi, Mirror Force, Dekoichi, Chaos Sork, and Book of Moon. I'm going to ditch Thunder Dragon to do some searching. Set Dekoichi, set Book of Moon. No need to go all in yet. They open up Thunder Dragon, Solemn Judgment, Upstart, Sakuretsu, Soul Exchange, and Dust Tornado. Thunder Dragon is a new one I haven't seen in Warriors, so I'm guessing this is some variant of Chaos Warriors, because I think he was on BLS in the first match. Pretty interesting inclusion, in my opinion. He searches both. He's going to Upstart. Does he have the Charity? No, too bad. He does summon Breaker, though, which is quite annoying, so I'm just going to Book of Moon it before it dies. And he sets for the Warrior Special. Soul Exchange, Judgment, Sakuretsu, and Dust Tornado. By the way, I'm assuming this is a side deck card, Soul Exchange. Very funny. I think the point of it is literally just to tribute Thunder Dragon. It's hilarious to me. I just never consider that like as a removal spell when you're playing Thunder Dragons for complicated things like, I'm assuming Thousand Eyes. So, very cool right there. I'm going to draw an MST, not too useful. I flip to Koichi, he Judgments, that's a shame because I was going to go for Tsukiyomi, get some recurrence in. I'm going to set MST, set Mirror Force. I think I should have set Tsukiyomi in my opinion, but with no protection it'd probably die, or from Mirror Force is fine. But who knows. He Dust Tornadoes the MST, I'm happy about that. He's going to Breaker, he's going to search Blade Knight. Wow, I sure hope this Mirror Force gets off, and it does. Okay, I had to check if he had a Judgment because I thought he did, honestly. I draw literally the worst card on the deck, Trap Dust Shoot. Going first, I usually side them in. However, thank God, he does not play a card, so I'm like, yes, this Dust Shoot is now live. I draw Sack, set it, and I'm going to activate Dust Shoot. I hit a T-Drag, which is disappointing. Hindsight, maybe I should have waited a bit more. Maybe he was setting on a Pot of Greed, but I don't know. I was thinking worst case I hit a Thunder Dragon, but could have hit something else possibly. So, it's a weird one. Otherwise, it might just be dead the rest of the game. I don't know too well. That's a hard choice for me to make and even think about now. They're going to activate Pot of Greed. They draw an... Oh, he reveals that he did not shuffle. We check the logs. He gets Heavy Mobius. I draw Spy, but I'm going to set Sook. He gets rid of it. I was trying to play around the knock because I know the Warrior players usually have knock if they haven't used it in a while. Sinister comes down, deals some damage. I draw Dekoichi, but I'm going to go for a Chaos Sork, get rid of that Serpent because that's a huge advantage loss right there. He's going to go for Soul Exchange, go for Mobius, pop that back row, poor Sakuretsu, and I draw Snatch Steal, which is actually quite nice. I Dekoichi into Mask of Darkness, Snatch Steal the Mobius, and get in for allegedly game, but he ends up Sakuretsuing the Train. I read that when he Sakuretsu's the Train and not Mobius, I'm like, okay, he has an MST or Heavy or something to get it back, so I go for the Tribute play with Thunder Dragon, so he can't do that. And he draws a very good card called BLS, Envoy of the Beginning. So he gets in for 4,400. He sets Night Assailant, sets Heavy Storm, and I mean, look at my hand, I ain't doing much. He's gonna Night Assailant pop, and this isn't game yet, but then Tribute for Thunder Dragon is game, sadly. All in all, these were a good 5 matches, I feel. Alright, just to talk about the deck a little bit, what I liked, what I didn't like. I feel that this list had too many monsters, in my opinion. I kept bricking with monsters, which was unfortunate, and I know the Phoenix Wing Blasts are meant to kind of help that, as well as the other turbo elements, but that was just me. Granted, I played a small sample size, it was only 5 matches, not that much. Also, I ended on a loss, so you know that never leaves a good taste in your mouth. As for the main deck, there's nothing I'd really change, except besides adding Dust Shoot in some capacity. As I said several times before, I'm not a deck builder, so don't take any of my deck building advice, honestly. But Jar Greed is interesting. It's fun when you just bluff someone out of it, because then it's basically you went +1 and your opponent didn't, or they went -1, you went neutral. It's a good feeling. I know the Panda Burn player said that the Mystic Walk was a meme. I'm not sure if that's a joke in the community, but I thought this card was great. I mean, it's wonderful with these Chaos Monsters whenever you play something large. Even Spy, when you just gain 2,000. It's a very solid card overall. Tribe is nice. I think you could probably find a way to main deck this, because, I mean, board waves are really nice, especially against Warriors or something like that, or annoying Ojama Trio tokens. And I don't think there was anything else. All in all, I'm still in the search, or I think I finished the search recently. But this is not the GOAT deck for me. But yeah, in the end, Chaos Turbo, at least this version of it, with the 3 Judgments, not my cup of tea, really. But I'm going to give a shout out to Shifty here. Congratulations. First place out of 93 people is actually amazing. So, with that, I think we're going to end this video. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and leave some comments about what you would have done better. I'm trying to learn the format better a bit because GOAT format's one of the most competitive old formats, and it's very fun. So let me know what you thought. Have a good one, duelists.